Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? How we doing? Thanks for tuning in. Just going to share this link out while we wait for a few gorgeous souls of my beautiful country and around the world to pop in. And then we're going to talk about what's going on. It's the 4th of July, people. It's American Independence Day. Oh, yes, it is. It's American Independence Day. And that would apply to America. How we doing, guys? Nice to see you. I'm doing Men in Black. I'm wearing these for a reason. And these are what they call pinhole glasses. I might break into a little Roy Orbison tune in a second. Who knows? This way, I'm just going to share this out. So bear with me while I go a little bit quiet. Minor, hello, sweetheart. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You all right, mate? Thanks for tuning in to Witchy Woo TV. Yeah, let's do it. Right, here we go. We're 4th of July. I'm just going to share this out to a couple of platforms. Do you remember the old platform shoes in the 70s? They were great, weren't they? Oh, I used to love my platforms. Remember the platforms? Oh, yes. And another ones I used to have a little gold rim around the front. Do you remember the little gold tip shoes? Oh, I tell you, I was a fashionista, I was. Watching from Brighton. Hello, Matty Taylor. How are you, love? Just going to share this out one more time, and then we get on it. Nice to see you, peeps. Thanks for tuning in. It is 4th of July, Independence Day. If you are in America, God bless you all. God bless the USA. God bless Donald Trump, and may God be with the great United States of America. 4th of July, happy days, Independence Day. I don't know if we can play. Can we play the American national anthem? Let's play it. Let's out because I love my patriots out there in America. Let's. It's thingy day, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Beyonce singing it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'll do this little short one. Let's do this. We're gonna sing in the old USA. President Trump, we love you. We salute you. Stand up, quick! President Trump, we salute you. Good old Blighty, we say thank you for your blessings. Come on, people. Hold them chests out, not you ladies. God bless the United States. Oh, it's not July. Oh, it's not. No, well, we can do it today, can't we? We love America. It's our Independence Day. I'm doing this for Donald Trump, right? It's not July Day. Yeah, it's a technicality, isn't it? I'm getting in early. I like to get in early. These are pinhole glasses, look. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. They got it out, didn't they? Anyway, as soon as I completely muck that up, I thought I'd give you a giggle. We're going to strum straight on into a bit of Citizen Steve just to deflect the embarrassment, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, I feel rather embarrassed right now because it is, in fact, not July. But nonetheless, my missus has always said I've always been early. So we're going to play the... have a bit of Citizen Steve. Get us in the mood. Hello, Cockney Patriots! Let's have ya! Come on, get in! Revolution!
As is a nation, it's one nation of old. A land built by heroes, their stories we've been told. Built upon a history, toil, sweat and tears. A Christian land of over 1,000 years. But listen to me, people, these words you can't ignore.
I am the fly.
Today needs her sons and her daughters like never before. Feel the pride, hear the call from Land's End to Adrian's Wall. This is England, the land of St. George. This is the land of the free, where the white cliffs meet the sea. 1,000 years of kings and queens, Oxford, Cambridge, English law, Charles Dickens and Bobby Moore, Drake and Nelson sailed in the 7 seas. But listen to me, people, these words you can't ignore. Today England needs
King Arthur, come on Arthur, let's have you. Hello Maureen, nice to see you darling.
From Land's End to Adrian's Wall, this is England, the land of St. George. I see the Downs and the Yorkshire Downs, the New Forest and the Lakeland Fells, and there I hear one guy calling me. Now every Englishman he knows the greatest beauty being English rose, and within this land my spirit will ever be. But listen to me people, these words you can't ignore. Today England needs the sons and the daughters like never before. Feel the pride, hear the call from Land's End to Adrian's Wall. This is England, the land of St. George. England, oh England, every woman, every man. What became of Jerusalem in this green and pleasant land? I won't run, I'll never hide, I'll always see my pride. This is England, the land of St. George. This is England, the land of St. George.
What's not to love? What is not to love about that tune? Now, you've got to be very careful what sort of tunage you play on this platform, because everyone's got their royalties. Apparently, even David Icke's channel, Real Chains, that's monetized. And I got told off yesterday by YouTube. They said, we can't put your video out. You've shared copyright material. I didn't realise that London Real was a copyrighted thing. I'm not interested in none of that, to be honest with you. Nigel Farage has been down the coast today, down at Dover, and he's been seeing the boats coming in, the people coming off the boats, and then they get on the UK Border Force boats, and they come into the Dover. There's no distancing. We don't know who these people are, what they've got, this, that, the other. We've got the Nightingale hospitals shut in because they're not busy. All these pull-in test centres for this COVID-19 they're just empty. They're just empty, people. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I'm pretty sure back in the Black Death, when people probably would have appreciated a pair of these glasses walking so casually down the road, that you couldn't have ignored the bodies and the Spanish flu. They were probably lined up in the streets, probably stinking. Nothing worse than a stinking corpse, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. And the word corpse comes from corporation, and you are a living, breathing corporation. Well done, you. Congratulations. Anyway, we're trying to remedy that. I want to play this again. I played this the other day. This is Lord Sumption. This guy was like big in the judiciary, within the court system and stuff. And he's explaining the national overreaction to coronavirus. So basically, the overreaction of the people has warranted this playing out. But we're seeing now that this is swiftly turning into a pandemic, scandemic, plandemic that's just not, it's not happening. The gig ain't happening, people. This thing ain't happening. And everyone says, oh, I'm stuck indoors and I want to get out. And I'm just like, well, go out. If you want to go out, go out. Do you know? I don't understand it. These Nightingale hospitals now, they've shut down. But Lord Sumption, pretty decent geezer, if you ask me, seems to have a bit of common sense, but he's had his fair share of sending corporations to prisons over the past, don't you? What a beautiful time it is, people, to be alive and to be understanding what's going on in the world and to know that we've all been duped and conned and that we're all trying to do something about it. Cockney Patriot saying, did you see the street party Gestapo smash woman's head on the floor? Yeah, they love a bit of violence. Oh, listen, let me tell you, they love a bit of it. If Ann Summers shops were just rammed full of handcuffs and batons and sirens, you wouldn't be allowed in there. The police would be in there 24/7, had that thing on lockdown. All right. Apparently you can get Ann Summer pasta now as well in the shape of a conical kind of thing. Yeah, Ann Summers pasta. Everyone's been short of pasta. The pasta's been sold out on your shops in Lidl. Apparently Ann Summers are selling these pasta packs where you can buy your pasta from your Ann Summers in the shape of an effigy. And I'm not going to say no more about it. Oh, I'm in Liverpool, bro. Yes, come on, Lauren. Look, Pete, we're at a choice now. What are you going to do? You're at a crossroads. What are you going to do? Stand up and be counted and be peaceful and stand up and protect your country, or are you going to just roll over and let what's coming going to roll out? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's the big question. What are you going to do? Let's listen to Assumption.
A hysterical slide into a police state, a shameful police force intruding with scant regard to common sense or tradition,
There's
and irrational overreaction driven by fear. These are not the accusations of wild-eyed campaigners. They come from the lips of one of our most eminent jurists, Lord Sumption, former Justice of the Supreme Court. I spoke to him about his concerns before we came on air.
The real problem is that when human societies lose their freedom, it's not usually because tyrants have taken it away. It's usually because people willingly surrender their freedom in return for protection against some external threat. And the threat is usually a real threat, but usually exaggerated. And that's what I fear we are seeing now. The pressure on politicians has come from the public. They want action. They don't pause to ask whether the action will work. They don't ask themselves whether the cost will be worth paying. They want action anyway. And anyone who has studied history will recognize here the classic symptoms of collective hysteria. Hysteria is infectious. We are working ourselves up into a lava in which we exaggerate the threat and stop asking ourselves whether the cure may be worse than the disease.
At a time like this, as you acknowledge, citizens do look to the state for protection, for assistance. We shouldn't be surprised then if the state takes on new powers, if it responds. That is what it has been asked to do, almost demanded of it.
Yes, that is absolutely true. We should not be surprised, but we have to recognize that this is how societies become despotisms. And we also have to recognize that this is a process which leads naturally to exaggeration. The symptoms of coronavirus are clearly serious for those with other significant young people have been struck down, which have had a lot of publicity, but the numbers are pretty small. The Italian evidence, for instance, suggests that only 12% of deaths, is it possible to say, coronavirus was the main cause of death. So yes, this is serious, and yes, it's understandable that people cry out to the government. But the real question is this serious enough to warrant putting most of our population into house imprisonment, wrecking our economy for an indefinite period, destroying businesses that honest and hard-working people have taken years to build up, saddling future generations with debt, depression, stress, heart attacks, suicides, and unbelievable distress inflicted on millions of people who are not especially vulnerable and will suffer only mild symptoms or none at all, like the Health Secretary and the Prime Minister.
The executive, the government, is all of a sudden really rather powerful and really rather unscrutinised. Parliament is in recess. It's due to come back in late April. We're not quite sure whether it will or not. The Prime Minister is closeted away, communicating via his phone. There is not a lot in the way of scrutiny, is there?
No, certainly there's not a lot in the way of institutional scrutiny. The press has engaged in a fair amount of scrutiny. There has been some good and challenge.
Just going to pause that. Yesterday, David Icke and Brian Rose from London Real had over 1 million people tuned in to that stream. People, that is the tipping point. The BBC have lost their grab. ITV have lost their grab. Channel 4 have lost their grab. All these other news outlets have kept us all in lockdown mentally for all these years. They've lost it. They've lost the war, people. They've lost it. And it's a war of information. That's all this is. 1 million people tuned into that yesterday. How beautiful was that?
In journalism, but mostly the press has, I think, echoed and indeed amplified the general panic.
The restrictions in movement have also changed the relationship between the police and those whose name, at least they serve. The police are naming and shaming citizens for travelling at what they see as the wrong time or driving to the wrong place. Does that set alarm bells ringing for you as a former senior member of the judiciary?
Well, I have to say it does. The tradition of policing in this country is that policemen are citizens in uniform. They are not members of a disciplined hierarchy.
That's powerful. They're citizens or people in uniform. But they put these uniforms on and they become different individuals. They become superheroes. They get superpowers, special powers. And they're abusing that right now. I'm going to move on to a beautiful, beautiful Brian Rose, who's uber celebrating the fact.
Well, I don't know about you, but I didn't sleep much last night because last night was super intense. And again, I want to thank everyone around the world, all the members of the London Real Army, for making last night's live stream of Rose Icke 3 just absolutely epic. It blew through our numbers, blew through the 1 million people watching this thing live. So it is now the single biggest live stream of a conversation in human history. And thank you so much. It was because of you. The first 20 minutes we put on YouTube, and it became the biggest live stream in the world that day. So we now have that as well. And what we found was that 2/3 of the viewers were shared by other people, peer-to-peer, which meant it was all Army, baby. It was all you guys. There was no big companies pushing
Feel proud,
right search
now.
engines.
Feel proud.
No technology platforms that were doing it. It was all us. So
be proud, people.
Army. And I'm expressing pure
we are
gratitude.
rising.
It was amazing.
It's beautiful.
And
beautiful.
what was more amazing is that, you know, we talked about things that are controversial right now. We talk about things that will get you banned. But the real message was love.
Hi, Fiona.
Yes,
nice to see you, darling.
At the
Thanks
end
for
was
tuning in.
saying you've got to open up your heart and use unconditional love. Not love like in Valentine's Day cards, but unconditional love. Because when you open up your heart with love, there's no fear.
Beautiful,
and
man.
Fear is how they control us.
Amen.
And that's the simple message. And that's the message David Icke has been given for years and years. And you got to listen for a while. You got to read between the lines.
I like that.
But the message is always there. And David gives it always at the end. He's always got a...
So, Dorothy Allen, that's so funny. Dorothy's just said, David Icke almost slipped out that the Queen is a reptilian. Now, I want to touch on this, right? Now, this is really fun. Icke over the years has been like, yeah, but he talks about lizards and aliens and all that stuff. I think he's clever. I honestly think he's done that for a reason. Whether he believes it or I don't know. I'm not in his skin. I'm not walking his flesh. But I think he's done that so that he gets left alone. Because if you're putting a message out how the system works and that the system's going to go, radar's on you, we're looking at you, we're interested in you. Oh, he's talking about aliens. He's all right. He's harmless. And that's why I think Icke's taken that little direction of talking about this and that is because he's like, they won't take me seriously. Well, the world's taking him seriously. And that's a beautiful thing. I said to my mates earlier, they went, oh, Icke ain't got time for him. He talks nonsense. I said, well, there was well over 1 million people tuned into that yesterday. Are they all the same? Are they all idiots? Are they all nutters? Because health and safety, the mental institution in this country are going to be very, very busy, aren't they? If everyone, Ike sells out the stadiums. Now, I said yesterday, I don't care what Ike is, whether he's a shield, whether he works for, I couldn't care. I don't care. I don't care what anyone does for a living, because I say everyone will be judged by their deeds. But the problem is, he's getting the information out there. He's getting the numbers. He's prepping people. He's planting them seeds, and then they're going out and doing their own research. They're growing stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger as individuals. Now, I personally don't want to fight the system. I don't fight the system. I certainly don't. If a bailiff comes to my front door, I'll give him some effing and jeffing, and I'll stand as a man. I'll stand proud. I'm not moving out of the way. I'm certainly not moving. I don't care what coppers come. I'm not moving out of the way. They're not nicking my equity, because they're vampires. But I starve the beast. I turn my back on all the system. And the system, the sad thing about this is, people, is the system's absolutely fantastic. The way the system works and the way it was designed is flawless. It took geniuses to figure this system out. However, the system had a pureness about it years and years ago, and it was good, it was decent. And that's why my family and that still have a faith in it, because they've not lived in these times. They're sort of retired and getting on now and passed away. They believed in this system, in this oneness, in this. But, when they say we're all in it together, we're not all in it together. That's clearly not the case. If we was all in it together, everyone would be subjected to the same things. Would you think a politician would be subjected to all the things that you're subjected to on a daily basis? No. So clearly you're not all in it together. But I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited about the fact that this has had well over 1 million views and is flying off the radar, and that David Icke has just gone mega in the last 2 weeks. We're seeing Trump now really up the ante, stopping the funding to the World Health Organization, which is predominantly run and owned by Bill Gates. Do you know how profound that is? That is just off the charts, that Trump's gone, nah, not having that no more. That man he's a player. He's a player, and I like him for it. Ike is a player. We're players. You have to be tenacious in this world. If you want to get on, you've got to be tenacious. Flat Earth, I've been telling the BBC off all day. It's like a full-time job trashing their YouTube channel. Last video on BBC News had 157 unlikes and 80 likes. Bless them, the old BBC, outside their studios. They got a lovely stone carving of a big fella with a little kid with all his bits hanging out, doing acts of sexual interactions on it. And it's disgusting. And if that's on the outside of the building set in stone, as they say, set in stone, you can imagine what's going on the inside. Do you know what I mean? So that's why we all pulled the plug on the BBC many years ago. God bless you all for standing up, taking pride. So starve the beast, people. Starve the beast. Stop funding it. That's all it relies on. That's all you are to councils, to courts, to the police. You're just revenue. It's like they put their hands in your pockets and they've got a gun out against your head going, you're going to pay, man. No, England don't roll like that. We don't roll. We're the English, Ireland, Scottish, Welsh. We're allowing a common law jurisdiction. We've got taxation, no taxation without representation. We've got all these old founding documents and all this constitution that protects us from the state. Now they're hauling ass. The state are more like the Gestapo than the Gestapo. My humble opinion, I'm entitled to my opinion. Now, David Icke, like him or hate him, he's entitled to his opinions. He's entitled to his free speech. And that is what is on the line here, people. Free speech. You've got these minions. They're not even ministers, not even government. And these corporations like Google and all. Well, by the way, Google censorship has dropped. You can search for anything on Google now. Something happened to Google about a month ago. I couldn't believe it. The stuff that Google was revealing, it's like something's happened here. The curfew's been lifted off the censorship off of Google. It's pretty decent right now, right? So you've got these minions in these corporations like Facebook. All right, it's their gig, but they're telling you what you can and can't say. They're telling you what you can and can't listen to. They'll be telling you what to wear next and what to eat if you ain't careful. So what you all should be standing up for is the respect of someone's freedom and ability to have free speech in a free country in a free world.
A great close, and he did last night. Obviously blew me away. I've been reading some of the comments. Some people said they couldn't even get up for a glass of water for 3 hours. So I'm just so honored that we could bring this to you. Again, it's not about me. It's about the message. And David and I are there to channel that message out to you. And
well done,
we had
Brian,
some success last night.
Brian
we worked
Rose.
really hard behind the scenes. There was a lot.
Brian Rose, multi-millionaire, this fella who used to be in the banking system making millions and gazillions and billions of quids. There's a fantastic geezer on YouTube as well called $1 billionaire. He's a guy that had this massive company years ago with loads of employees, and overnight when everything crashed, he was out of a job. It all went bankrupt and he lost a lot. And he was like, whoa, what happened there? The system just come in and robbed him blind. He was like, whoa, what happened there? And now he's got his own YouTube channel and he's blowing it off the radar. That's what happens when you scorn clever people that have got on well in the world. We tend to snap back. We tend to come back and say, hang on, this ain't right, mate. London was effing mental when we had the poll tax riots. They soon backtracked. Yeah, I don't know as if riots, I mean, peaceful assembly, peaceful takeover. Yes, 100%. But you can't descend in. Remember, our mentor, well, my mentor, John Harris, God bless his soul. I still think John's alive anyway, somewhere, bless him. No violence. He said, no violence. You're just as bad as them when you descend into violence. They love a bit of violence. The police are trained for violence. They're trained to kick your back doors in. It's disgusting. I'm going to listen now to Dr. Rashid Abatar, and he's saying that this is urgent. He's saying within the next few weeks. Now, this so far has had 154,000 views. YouTube has become the new place for media people. Let's see what he has to say once the ads stop. And we're getting going.
If this doesn't get rectified in the very, very near future, within the next few weeks, our world, and when I say our world, I'm not just talking about where I live or where you live, but our world, our planet is going to be a different place. They will be sicker. They will be controlled. They will not have any privacy. They will not have any future.
We are the resistance.
I want to make sure the world understands
the
where
dollar
the
vigilante.
problem
That's
lies.
it. Well done, John. Nice to see you, son.
This is misinformation to the highest order, and the reason for this misinformation is what's coming down.
Pay attention,
The
people.
danger.
It's time
is
or
not
now. Fight or
what's in front
flight,
of
let
you.
me
The
tell you.
danger is what you're being distracted from. The only way that you can control people is by keeping them in ignorance. The world needs to wake up and understand that what's happening right now is an illusion, and it's going to mandate other things coming down, which is include RF chips. Everybody's going to have mandated vaccinations so that they can track those people and know who's been vaccinated, who's not been vaccinated. Stanford.
Cockney Patriots just put a comment up there. People were protesting peacefully and Thatcher's Gestapo started attacking with batons. Look, listen, people, this goes back a long way. Further than you can imagine. Look, go back to the First World War. Them boys and girls went off to the trenches. There was plenty of women went there, nurses, this, that, the other. If they didn't go over the top, they were taken round the back and killed, shot. That's how much these people love you. I'm going to play you. Actually, let's do that right now. I'm going to play you Tim Fortescue, right? Let's see if we can find Tim Fortescue. And I want you to listen, right? This guy, this was an interview that he did in 1995. Now, whether Tim Fortescue's still alive, maybe, I'm not sure. Hello, Frankie Roberts. Nice to see you, darling. Oh, Matt, I've just seen notifications from Noisy Tone. Hello, Noisy Tone. I love you, Dan. Oh, yeah, I'll wear you on my sleeve because you're the man. Tim Fortescue, right? Listen and pay attention to this man. He was Edward Heath's chief whip, right? Now, the whipping party politics, he's the one that goes round like a little blah, 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 and he whips them all into shape. So all them ministers in that Tory party, a Labour party, Lib Dem, whatever it is, he whips them all into the shape for some common purpose, right? Oi, oi, Savaloy. And this man, right? Listen, just this is disgusting.
Anyone with any sense who was in trouble would come to Lewis and tell them the truth and say, no, I'm in a jam. Can you help? It might be debt. It might be
listen,
scandal involving small boys or any kind of scandal, which a member.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? It might involve young boys. This is the man that was the chief whip to Edward Heath that took this beautiful country into this European Union. Why? Because there must have been something on Edward Heath. They have something on all these politicians because they catch them doing all sorts of nefarious things. They take them out, treat them up, get them laced, the deal. That's why I've always been very cautious when I go out into public affairs. So I don't know who I'm dealing with, and I don't want to get off me. Someone slip me something, and that I'm very careful when I go out in the masses. I really am, unless I know people on a one-to-one and we've met before, and I know them and we've chatted over the phone. That's a different story. But this, if someone comes up to me that I don't know, I'm like, oh. And I've had it a few times. We went out to London quite a few years ago when I took 40 people into Master Leslie's chamber in London. Now, there was a couple of coppers there. I don't mind. The coppers don't bother me. They're just men and women. I don't see a uniform. I don't see their rank. I don't see their whatever it is they're doing. CID, I'm not here. I don't care. It's just men and women in my life. That's all I see. Beautiful souls. I try and see beautiful souls all the time. And one of the coppers there was a guy called Steve McDonald, right? And I'd spoken to Steve a few times. And one of my mates said, oh, he's a copper, Dave. I went, no, shut up. As soon as he said that, Steve come up 5 minutes later, I've got to go home, Dave. Kids got late from school. I said, oh, mate, sweet, isn't that? Then we went into the pub for a few sherbets. And after we'd been chatting with Master Leslie, and this guy in a leather suit, motorbike helmet and that, who sat there as I walked in, he went, hello, Dave. I'm like, whoa. And that freaked me out. So I'm thinking, oh, what's going on here, right? I'm no player. I'm just an ordinary dude. That's all I am. I just care for my country and care for the people. Like, you've got no tomorrow. I wear it on my sleeve. And my only sadness is that I've only got one life to give for my country. That's my real sadness. I've only got one life to give for it. I'll tell you, I'd come back here time and time again and try and save this place. I really would, because I want the goodness. I want the light. I want the Christ consciousness. That's what I want. And I will see it. I will manifest it with you lot. Oh, we're going to manifest this like you've got no tomorrow, because we are God's chosen people. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are God's chosen people. Whether you believe or you don't, if you're standing up for truth and justice, you are chosen. And wear that badge with honour. I'm telling you, wear it with honour. This guy in this pub shook my hand and I was like, whoa. But I was fine with him. I bought him a drink. I've got no dislove for anybody. Do you know what I mean? But this guy, Tim Fortescue, I'm going to just rewind that a bit. I want you to hear it again.
Or any kind of scandal which a member seemed likely to be mixed up in, they'd come and ask if we could help. And if we could, we did. And we would do everything we can, because we would store up brownie points.
We would do everything that we can to cover it up. And he gulped. If you watch the video on YouTube, you'll see that he takes a gulp of air because he can't. I don't think he can even believe what he's saying. The words coming out of his mouth. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That sounds a pretty nasty reason, but it's one of the reasons is that we can get a chap out of trouble, then he'll do as we ask forevermore.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, are the type of people that you have in charge of this country. No wonder they lock themselves up behind men with machine guns and big steel gates, eh? But look, just like Morpheus and just like Neo in the film The Matrix, where Neo's trying to figure out how to bend the spoon, and that kid's got the spoon and the spoon's moving about and Neo's transfixed on it, right? And he's, well, how are you going to get, well, I don't know. I'm like, and Morpheus said, The spoon isn't there. And that's government. The government isn't there. If you all, hundreds and thousands of you, decide to come together in Christ consciousness, stand side by side with your brothers and sisters, stand side by side in the constitution of this country, and go and take your country back, guess what? You will free up the world, and you'll free up future generations that are not yet blessed to have touched this soil from this autocracy, tech democracy, whatever it is you want to call it. I can't stand it. It sickens me when you've got people like that saying things like that. And if you go and watch that, you'll see him gulp, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, you really will. 5 minutes and I'm going to go. Let's just listen to a couple of seconds of David Icke after his beautiful interview yesterday.
I just got the news that David Icke's YouTube channel has been deleted. He's been completely deplatformed from the second largest search engine in the world, the biggest YouTube video platform in the world. And I'm not going to lie, I'm upset about this. Someone could be silenced like that. Someone who's valued by so many people, nearly 1 million subscribers. Are those million people bad people? Are they stupid people? Are their heads being filled with toxic information? No. They're just like you and me, who want to listen to someone with an alternative point of view. And yet now, these trillion-dollar technology companies,
time to rise, guys.
Community guidelines.
It's time to rise.
Now have that they treat subjectively. Coincidentally enough, have banned within 24 hours Facebook and now YouTube. So if they really do have,
if there's anybody in the system that stands for good, truth, and justice, and Christ consciousness, let me know. We need you. We need you to stand with us, the people. We're going to take our country back at some point. You make no base about it. The people of this country and the world will individually take back their countries. France is on the verge. America, they're kicking off in America. President Trump today congratulated the people of California for going into one of their buildings and peacefully assembling with all their firearms. He congratulated them. Trump said, well done for standing up and protecting your Second Amendment rights in this country and standing up against tyranny. That's President Trump, people. Dave, are we trusting Mr. Trump, or you think we've got to make a move now? I don't know, Fiona. The answer to that is it's all in God's hands. This is all in God's hands. I tell you, the way that we're talking now, the way that we're coming together is all God's plan. Let me tell you, this is bigger than us. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than you. This is universal, rolling out around the world. The consciousness, the love, the wholeness, the well-being of people is coming. It's bubbled to the surface, and there is no stopping it now. It's rolling like a steam train. It's either get on board or be left behind. We are done. Look, 1 million views on over 1 million streaming on that last night. People, come on.
Have community policies.
It's happening.
Enforce
It's happening.
Then why would they do that within 24 hours? What, they both finally got together and then just happened to decide basically on the same day? No, it's because they are kowtowing to public pressure. Because there's people out there and these wannabe hate police that are calling David all sorts of things that aren't true. They're calling him anti-Semitic, which is not true. He's addressed that multiple times on our show. They're calling him all these other things, which is just not true. He's a great man, and he brings an incredible perspective, and he is an asset to this world. And now he's been silenced because these companies are feeling pressured because this whole world is turned into a politically correct environment. And so everyone is being coddled right now. They are being pressured by organizations with letters behind them that make them sound important. And they're.
Do you see what he's saying? It's everyone's curtailing to this autocracy, plutocracy, whatever it is you want to call it. And it's got to stop. It really has got to stop. But you've just seen and heard there that the people that run this country have been doing nefarious things with young children. But most people in this country will hear them words and pay no attention to them. They think it's acceptable. Bill Maloney went and did onto the Isle of Man years ago. Bill's got a YouTube a channel called Pie and Mash Films. He's a Londoner, a Lewisham-born boy of 7 siblings, and quite a few of them got abused coming up through the care system. And some of the stuff that Pie and Mash Films went out and exposed in Jersey and that is unbelievable. But he went to a home for boys, like a ball stall, and some developers wanted to pull this thing down because it was an old Victorian building. It weren't very well insulated. Where we should be keeping these buildings and coming up with ways to heat them that serve us, instead of pulling them down and bringing in this new whatever it is that they're bringing in. We should. Why are we pulling down all these buildings? Why? We have got technology to produce heat without burning fossil fuels. We've got that. So why are we not using our brains, fixing up and looking sharp? But he went to this place and he climbed into the buildings because they had put a preservation order. Oh no, you can't knock these down. These are English heritage. We've got to preserve these for future generations so they can come and see what was going on with all these ball stalls and stuff. So Bill went and done a documentary with Lily, his camera lady, and he pulled back the thing. He climbed in there, and the stuff that was written all over the walls by these young lads that have been back over the years since it was vacant, and they're writing out that this prison warden so held me down and done this to me, put me up against the wall, pulled me pants down. And I hope you're feeling the emotions when I use these words and come at you like this. I hope that you start feeling they did what? And that's where we're at as a country right now. We're at a point now where people in this country are going, you what? They did what? They're doing what? And you should all be going, this ain't right, mate. This ain't right. I'm just here to clean this place up, people, but I can't do it without you. We all need to do this together. We stand one. Where one goes, we all go, right? That's how we should be rolling. And we should have this common theme. We should be focused like an arrowhead of exactly what we want to do and where we want to go and how we want to do it. Instead of starting a group here and a group there and a group here and a group there, we're never getting nowhere apart from walking down a path to doomsday. We just all need to take the time out and come together through a common theme, using the constitution of our country, having the law on our side and doing the right thing for England, for Wales and Scotland and for the world. That's what we should be doing, and we should be casting out all these evil, do-gooding, nasty, wicked individuals that have been doing such terrible things to us. It's got to stop, peeps. It's got to stop. It really has. So I thought I'd pop back in here tonight and have a little tune in. I am growing this channel. I am so blessed to have you all. This is starting to really grow now. The numbers are coming up. And I'm growing into this more and more and more. I'm feeling more relaxed. Things Bill Malone is not to be trusted. He's been exposed proper. Oh, I didn't know that. But look, the information's out there. You know, like I say, whether people are good or bad. Actually, talking about the Constitution and that, I was watching an interview earlier with the International Common Law meeting with John Smith, who set up the common law courts a few years ago. And they're at a point now where they're doing some really, really good stuff. Wedger, I spoke to John Wedger a few times a couple of years ago, and I was going to meet him a couple of years ago we was down in Cornwall having a bit of a family holiday. And I don't know if he cycled down there. He'd done something and he was down there for a few days, but I never actually caught up with him. I've never met him. I'm someone that I feel things with people, like when I meet them, if I shake their hands or give them a hug, I'll get this either good vibe or a bad vibe. And if I get a bad vibe, that's it. I won't, because that's just my energy, and I'll attract energy like mine. Yeah. And that's what you should all be doing. You should be living your lives and attracting energy. And I don't care what the system, I don't care what Boris Johnson's doing. Look, we need to start something new. And the only way we can do that is by changing our minds and changing our outlooks and going in a different direction, purer direction, a nicer direction. Yeah, that's what we need to do. You saved yourself there, Dave. Maybe right, Cockney Patriot. Who knows? Love the unlovable, forgive the unforgivable. That's how I'm rolling. I don't have no hate in my heart. I really don't. And people be people. Like I say, they'll all be judged. And that's that. That's divine law. That's nothing to do with me. Matty Taylor, we're blessed to have you, Dave. Well, I'm blessed to have you, Matt, if I'm brutally honest with you, because I am nothing without you people. Nothing at all. Nothing whatsoever will happen unless we all pull. We need to pull in the same direction. We need to pull together. We don't need to berate the people in the system. We need to win their hearts and bring them on side. That's what we need to do. We need to shine the light on them, and then they'll realise, oh my word, have I really been doing that to my fellow brothers and sisters? Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, before I disappear, and I am going, all men are created equal, endowed by certain unalienable rights by their creator. That's a given. It can't be questioned. The Bible cannot be questioned. This book in a court of law is a fact, and it cannot be questioned. No one in a court of law will question you if you use scripture. There can be no arguments about it. It's a given. It's a fact. So that's why I like it so much, because this is a book of law. God bless you all. I'll be seeing you all tomorrow. Happy lockdowns. Enjoy your slavery. Remember, stay home. Stay slave, or slave safe. Slave safe. Stay home, slave safe. And I'm sure everyone will be out on their Thursday night happy clapping while all the old people are dying in the nursing homes, being jabbed up and being put down as COVID-19. My mate fell off a ladder the other week and died, and the doctor said, I'm putting him down as COVID-19. I went, there's something going on here, doc. Take care, Dave. Beautiful Patriots. Thanks for all tuning in, people. As always, it's beautiful coming to see you. I'm going to try and hook up with some free YouTube royalty-free music so we can start playing some tunes and have a bit of a giggle, because that's what we need right now. We need to show people love. Don't get depressed. Stay high vibing. Anyone you come across that's down in the dumps, pull them up, raise them up. Don't never look down on no one. The only time you look down on someone is when you're giving them an hand up and you're bending down to lift them up. Where we all go, one, we all go together. These are the things I want you to start getting. We all need to come together. Brian Garish, all these, whoever they are, Ike, we all need to come together. Everyone needs to gel. Everyone needs to stand up for their country and their people and their future generations. I hope you can all find it in your hearts to do that. Take care and stay safe.